There are moments in life when we feel like we are on the edge of something greater, yet we can't quite define it. God has a way of preparing His people for blessings that often goes unnoticed. Many of us ask for favor, we seek His hand in our lives, but how do we recognize when the blessing is near? In this journey, it's crucial to understand that God always prepares us for what He is about to give. Today, we are going to explore 7 clear signs that reveal God is positioning you for the blessings He has prepared. These signs are more than just moments, they are divine indicators that your season of favor is on its way. The first sign that God is preparing you for a blessing is when He leads you through uncomfortable transitions. Transitions by their nature are often disruptive. You may feel unsettled or even displaced, and this discomfort can make you question whether you are in the right place. But remember, discomfort is often a sign of growth. When God is preparing to bless you, He begins by shifting things around in your life, sometimes by closing doors that you thought would remain open or pushing you out of your comfort zone. In the Bible, we see this pattern repeatedly. Consider Joseph, whose journey to becoming a ruler in Egypt began with the painful transition of being sold into slavery by his own brothers, Genesis 37:28. Joseph's transition was uncomfortable, but it was part of God's divine preparation for the tremendous blessing that lay ahead. Had he remained in the comfort of his father's house, he would never have reached the position of influence and authority that allowed him to save an entire nation. The discomfort you may be experiencing is not meant to harm you, but to position you. God is moving you from where you are to where you need to be for the next season of blessings. He knows that growth rarely happens in the comfort zone. Like a seed that must break through the soil, your discomfort is a sign that something new is about to emerge. But just as the seed must endure darkness and pressure before it sprouts, you too must endure your current trials to reach the blessing that is coming. During uncomfortable transitions, it's easy to feel lost or abandoned. You may even question God's timing or wonder if He's forgotten about you. But remember, God's timing is perfect, even when we don't understand it. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us that to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. This discomfort is part of your preparation, and it's temporary. God is aligning everything in His divine timing, and He needs you to trust the process, even when it feels unsettling. This discomfort also serves another purpose. It breaks attachments to your old life. Sometimes we grow too attached to where we are or what we have, and God needs to remove those things to prepare us for something greater. It's during these times that we must let go of what we know to make room for what God is about to do. Embrace the discomfort, knowing that God is using it to shape you. He is working on your patience, strengthening your character, and increasing your capacity for the blessings that are coming. Just as He led the Israelites through the wilderness to prepare them for the promised land, He may be leading you through your own wilderness experience. But the promise of blessing remains. Remember, this first sign, uncomfortable transitions, is not meant to break you. It's meant to build you. God is preparing you for the blessings that are already on their way. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust that each uncomfortable moment is part of a much larger divine plan. The second sign that God is preparing you for a blessing is the sudden increase in obstacles and opposition. When God is about to do something significant in your life, you can expect resistance. Challenges will arise, and the road may seem harder than before. But remember, opposition is not an indication that you are on the wrong path. Rather, it's a confirmation that you are moving in the direction of God's blessing. Throughout Scripture, we see this pattern. Consider the life of Nehemiah. When he set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he faced intense opposition from Sanballat, Tobiah, and others who sought to discourage him. Nehemiah 4:1-3. They mocked and ridiculed his efforts, hoping to stop the work. Yet Nehemiah understood that this opposition was not a reason to quit, but a sign that his mission was vital and divinely appointed. He pressed on, and despite the obstacles, the walls were completed, marking a significant victory for God's people. When you face increased opposition, it's essential to understand that God often allows these challenges to test your resolve and faith. The enemy does not attack what is not a threat. And the intensity of the opposition you face is often a direct reflection of the greatness of the blessing that is coming. In 1 Peter 5:8, we are reminded to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. The enemy increases his efforts when he senses that you are close to receiving something valuable from God. But take heart, for opposition is simply a sign that the breakthrough is near. God allows obstacles because they serve to strengthen you. Without challenges, there would be no growth, and without resistance, your faith would not deepen. Each obstacle is like spiritual training, preparing you to carry the weight of the blessings God has in store for you. Just as David had to face the giant Goliath before stepping into his destiny as King, 1 Samuel 17:45-47, your battles today are preparing you for the throne God is preparing for you. Moreover, opposition refines your focus. When obstacles come, they force you to rely more on God and less on your own strength. This is precisely what God desires, to build a deeper dependency on Him. 2 Corinthians 12:9 reminds us of this when Paul writes, "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." It is in the midst of obstacles that God's power is most evident in your life, and as you navigate the challenges, you become more attuned to His leading. When opposition intensifies, it is easy to feel discouraged or even question whether you are moving in the right direction. But understand this: the presence of obstacles does not mean God is absent. Instead, it's often the opposite. He is right there, allowing the opposition as a way of refining and preparing you. You are in the refining fire, and while it may be uncomfortable, God is using it to shape you for the blessings ahead. Increased obstacles and opposition may feel overwhelming, but they are signs that God is positioning you for something greater. Just as the Israelites faced opposition before entering the promised land, you too may face battles before stepping into your blessings. Don't give up when the fight gets tough. Press on, knowing that this second sign is a clear indication that God is working on your behalf and His blessings are drawing nearer. Now, having understood the first sign, uncomfortable transitions, and the second sign, intensified opposition, we move to the third sign, that God is preparing you for a blessing, is when you begin to experience an uncommon desire for growth. This isn't just a passing interest or a mild curiosity, it's a deep inner drive pushing you to expand in areas of your life that you might have overlooked before. Whether it's spiritual growth, personal development, or even professional advancement, this desire emerges because God is preparing you to handle greater responsibility, more influence, and the increase He's about to release into your life. This inner urge is not self-generated, it comes directly from God. Philippians 2:13 tells us, "For it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill His good purpose." When you find yourself seeking to grow in unexpected ways, understand that this is God's hand stirring something new within you. He is planting a desire for more because He is getting ready to entrust you with more. The first sign God is preparing you for something greater was the discomfort of transitions. Now, with this third sign, God begins to give you a hunger for transformation. What you once found acceptable is no longer enough. You are no longer content with spiritual stagnation or mediocrity in any aspect of your life. You begin to hunger for a deeper relationship with Him, for greater understanding, for wisdom, for success, and for an impact that goes beyond yourself. Take the story of Moses as an example. After living 40 years in the wilderness as a shepherd, Moses suddenly had a divine encounter at the burning bush, Exodus 3:2. This meeting with God ignited an uncommon desire in Moses to return to Egypt, confront Pharaoh, and lead God's people to freedom. Before that moment, Moses had no plans to return to Egypt. But the burning desire for growth stirred by God propelled him into his purpose. Sometimes these desires may feel strange or out of character. You may suddenly want to learn more, serve more, or step into roles that once intimidated you. This desire for growth may come in unexpected areas. Perhaps you feel a calling to take on new leadership roles, deepen your prayer life, or even expand your skills in business or ministry. The second sign God was preparing you was through opposition. But now, this uncommon desire for growth becomes a positive, internal push toward the new level of blessing He's preparing. God uses these desires to stretch you and to prepare you for what's coming. This internal stretching is vital because blessings often require new levels of maturity, skill, and insight. As Jesus shared in the parable of the talents, Matthew 25:14-30, those who are faithful with little will be entrusted with much more. God ignites these desires for growth because He knows the level of responsibility that comes with the blessings He's about to release into your life. Additionally, this desire for growth is often accompanied by a thirst for new knowledge and wisdom. Proverbs 4:7 tells us, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." When God is preparing to bless you, He will stir a hunger in you to seek wisdom, not just any wisdom, but divine insight that will help you navigate the new territory you are about to enter. It's important to recognize that this third sign is not just about personal ambition. This isn't about selfish goals or worldly success. The uncommon desire for growth that God places in you is centered on His purpose for your life. It is meant to equip you for the new season of favor and blessings, to refine you for the calling He has in store. So when you feel this sudden desire to grow, to learn more, and to reach higher, know that it is God's way of preparing you. You are being positioned for blessings that require a new version of you, a more mature, wise, and capable version of the person you are today. This third sign is a divine signal that God is at work, getting you ready for the abundance He's about to bring. The fourth sign that God is preparing you for a blessing is the sudden appearance of new opportunities in unexpected places. After experiencing uncomfortable transitions, facing increased obstacles, and developing uncommon desires for growth, you'll begin to notice doors opening in places you never anticipated. These opportunities are not random, they are divinely orchestrated and often come disguised as small beginnings or situations that seem out of alignment with your plans. But they are signs that God is positioning you for a breakthrough. The first sign that God was preparing you was the discomfort of transitions, signaling that He was shifting you into a new season. The second sign came through opposition, teaching you that resistance is often a precursor to blessing. The third sign manifested in an uncommon desire for growth, preparing you internally for the external blessings God is about to release. Now, the fourth sign comes in the form of divine opportunities that may seem out of place, but are a part of God's bigger plan for your life. In the Bible, one of the clearest examples of this can be found in the story of Ruth. After the death of her husband, Ruth found herself in a foreign land with her mother-in-law Naomi, facing a future of uncertainty. But in an unexpected place, Boaz's field, Ruth found an opportunity that would eventually lead to her being part of the lineage of Jesus, Ruth 2:3. What seemed like a small, insignificant chance to glean grain turned into an opportunity for God to align Ruth with her destiny. Often, these unexpected opportunities may seem insignificant or unrelated to your current desires, but God uses them to move you forward. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." What you may perceive as an accidental or small opportunity could be the very avenue through which God delivers His blessing. These new opportunities may come in areas where you never thought to look. Maybe a career path opens up in a field you never considered, or a connection is made with someone you never expected to meet. These chances often come wrapped in unfamiliar packaging, but they are God's way of aligning you with His divine will. The key is to stay open and discerning, recognizing that God's ways are higher than ours, and that His plans often unfold in ways we could never have planned for ourselves. The appearance of these opportunities is a direct result of God's preparation process. By taking you through transitions, opposition, and internal growth, He has made you ready to recognize and seize these moments. Just as the disciples were called to leave their nets and follow Jesus, Matthew 4:19, sometimes the opportunities God presents require you to let go of the familiar and step into the unknown. These opportunities often require faith, as they may not make sense in the moment, but they carry the potential to unlock greater blessings than you ever imagined. At times, these doors may seem too small or insignificant compared to your bigger dreams, but God often uses the small things to bring about great blessings. In Luke 16:10, we are told, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." The small opportunity that seems unimportant today could be the training ground for the greater blessings God is preparing for you tomorrow. Don't overlook these openings just because they don't align with your original expectations. Furthermore, these unexpected opportunities often require action on your part. Faith without works is dead, James 2:26. And when God opens a door, He expects you to walk through it. Don't be paralyzed by doubt or fear. Instead, trust that the same God who brought the opportunity will provide the strength and wisdom you need to walk it out. These new opportunities are often tests of your faith, courage, and readiness for the blessings God is preparing. This fourth sign, new opportunities in unexpected places, is God's way of bringing you closer to the blessing He has been preparing all along. When doors open where you least expect them, know that it's part of His divine plan, even if it seems unrelated to your current circumstances. Stay open, stay faithful, and recognize that these moments are opportunities for God to work through you and bring His promises to fulfillment. The fifth sign that God is preparing you for a blessing is the entrance of divine relationships into your life. After experiencing uncomfortable transitions, facing increased opposition, desiring uncommon growth, and recognizing new opportunities in unexpected places, you'll begin to notice that God places key people in your life at just the right time. These individuals are not random acquaintances. They are sent by God to help guide, support, and uplift you as you move into the next phase of your blessing. The first sign God was preparing you was through the discomfort of transitions, signaling that He was moving you into a new season. The second sign came with intensified opposition, teaching you that resistance is often a precursor to blessing. The third sign manifested in an uncommon desire for growth, expanding your capacity for what God was about to do. The fourth sign appeared in new opportunities in unexpected places, revealing how God can work beyond our plans. Now, the fifth sign is divine relationships, showing that God often works through people to accomplish His purposes. In the Bible, we see how God uses relationships to fulfill His plans in the lives of His people. Take David and Jonathan, for example. Jonathan's friendship with David was more than just a bond between two men. It was a divine connection that played a significant role in David's journey to becoming king. 1 Samuel 18:1-4. Jonathan provided David with critical support and protection, even risking his own life to ensure David's safety. God placed Jonathan in David's life at a time when he needed a loyal ally. This was no coincidence. It was a divine relationship designed to help David navigate the challenges ahead. Divine relationships come in many forms. They can be mentors, friends, advisors, or even people who challenge you to grow. These individuals are strategically placed in your life to offer guidance, encouragement, or even correction when needed. Proverbs 27:17 tells us, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." When God is preparing you for a blessing, He brings people into your life who sharpen you, people who challenge your thinking, elevate your faith, and push you toward your God-given purpose. The second sign of God's preparation was opposition, and divine relationships are often sent to help you withstand that resistance. These people are there to strengthen you during tough times, offer wisdom when you are unsure, and remind you of God's promises when you feel discouraged. Sometimes divine relationships are not only there to support you, but also to open doors that you could not open on your own. Esther had Mordecai, who guided her through her journey to become queen and ultimately save her people. Esther 7:14. Without Mordecai's guidance, Esther may not have stepped into her divine role. It's essential to recognize that divine relationships often come with a purpose beyond the surface. They are not just about companionship or casual friendship. They carry a mission attached to them. When you begin to sense that someone in your life is there for more than just casual reasons, pay attention. They may be part of God's larger plan to prepare you for the blessings that are about to unfold. Just as Ruth was connected to Naomi, which led her to Boaz, Ruth 1:16, 4:13, God often uses relationships to align you with your destiny. The fourth sign was new opportunities in unexpected places, and divine relationships often help you see those opportunities more clearly or even introduce you to them. The people God places in your life may have insight, connections, or resources that you need to step into the next phase of your blessing. These relationships often come unexpectedly, just like the opportunities, and they bring with them the provision and support necessary to move forward. However, it's important to be discerning. Not every relationship is divine, and not every person in your life is meant to walk with you into your next season. Pray for discernment, asking God to reveal who is sent by Him and who may be a distraction. Just as Jesus chose His disciples carefully, Luke 6:12-13, you too must seek God's guidance in recognizing the people He is sending to support your journey. This fifth sign, divine relationships entering your life, is a clear indication that God is aligning you with His plan for the blessings to come. These relationships will provide the support, wisdom, and encouragement you need to navigate the next steps of your journey. When these people enter your life, be open, be grateful, and be willing to receive what God has for you through them. As you nurture these relationships, you'll find that they are vital to unlocking the fullness of the blessings God is preparing for you. Now, moving forward to the sixth sign, we will discover that sudden clarity and purpose is a powerful indicator that God is preparing to bless you. As you navigate through the earlier signs of God's preparation, transitions, opposition, growth, opportunities, and relationships, there often comes a moment when everything begins to make sense. What seemed confusing or uncertain in the past now aligns with a clear vision of where God is leading you. This sudden clarity is a divine signal that God is positioning you for a breakthrough. In Scripture, we see examples of God giving sudden clarity and purpose as part of His preparation. Consider the Apostle Paul. Before his conversion, Paul was deeply misguided, persecuting Christians with zeal. But after his encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus, everything changed. Suddenly, his purpose was made clear. Paul would become a key figure in spreading the gospel to the Gentiles, Acts 9:3-6. That moment of clarity radically transformed Paul's life, and he began to walk in his God-given purpose with conviction and authority. The clarity Paul received on that road was the turning point that led to the unfolding of his ministry and God's blessings upon him. When God prepares you for a blessing, He often brings about this kind of sudden clarity. You may have spent years feeling uncertain about your direction or questioning why you went through certain hardships. But in God's timing, all the pieces begin to fit together. He reveals to you how your past experiences, trials, and even failures have prepared you for the purpose He has set before you. This clarity may come through a moment of reflection, a divine revelation during prayer, or even through the counsel of a trusted mentor or divine relationship. The second sign God gave you was opposition, and this clarity and purpose will help you understand why the opposition was necessary. You will see that those battles were meant to shape you, to prepare you for the unique calling God has for your life. Joseph, for instance, likely wondered why he had to endure slavery and imprisonment. But when he became second in command over Egypt and saved many lives, his purpose became crystal clear. Genesis 50:20. Everything he went through was part of God's bigger plan. This sudden clarity also serves to align your desires with God's will. In the third sign, you experienced an uncommon desire for growth. Now, with clarity and purpose, that desire for growth becomes more focused. You are no longer seeking just to grow in general, but you know exactly what you need to grow into. God sharpens your focus, helping you hone in on the skills, knowledge, and spiritual maturity you need to fulfill your specific purpose. Moreover, clarity and purpose brings peace and confidence. What once seemed foggy or confusing now becomes clear. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. When God gives clarity and purpose, your path straightens, and you begin to move forward with greater confidence and peace, knowing that God is directing your steps. This sixth sign is particularly significant because clarity and purpose is often the last piece of preparation before God releases his blessings. In the fourth sign, new opportunities appeared in unexpected places, and now with this clarity, you will know exactly which opportunities to pursue. The fifth sign brought divine relationships, and now you will understand the role these people play in your life and how they fit into God's greater purpose for you. Sudden clarity and purpose is a powerful indication that God is aligning everything in your life for the blessings he's about to pour out. You will see how the trials, relationships, opportunities, and growth have all been part of his preparation process. As this clarity dawns upon you, trust that you are closer than ever to stepping into the fullness of the blessings God has in store. Stay focused, stay faithful, and walk confidently in the purpose he has revealed. Now, moving to the seventh and final sign, we come to restlessness in your spirit. This spiritual discomfort is a clear signal that God is about to release his blessings. Let's explore how this restlessness plays a crucial role in God's preparation process. Restlessness in your spirit is not just a feeling of unease, it's a divine stirring from God. This restlessness often comes when you feel you've outgrown your current situation, or when you sense that there's something more just around the corner, even if you can't quite put your finger on it. It's as though your soul is telling you that you are on the brink of something new, and God is urging you to prepare for it. We see an example of this kind of spiritual restlessness in the story of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was living comfortably in the palace as the cupbearer to the king, but when he heard about the destruction of Jerusalem, his spirit became restless. He felt a divine burden to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, even though it was a monumental task, Nehemiah 1:4-11. That restlessness in Nehemiah's spirit was God's way of preparing him for a significant blessing, not only for Nehemiah, but also for the entire nation of Israel. His restlessness led him to act, to seek God's direction, and to move into the calling God had for him. The second sign of preparation was opposition, and often this spiritual restlessness comes after you've overcome significant challenges. You've fought battles, you've grown stronger, and now God is preparing you for what's next. But before you step into your blessing, he allows a period of restlessness to remind you that he is not finished with you yet. There is still more to come, and this unsettled feeling is a sign that greater things are on the horizon. This restlessness is also a sign that God is stretching your faith. You may find yourself questioning your current position or feeling dissatisfied with the status quo. This is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a divine prompt. Just as a bird begins to feel confined in its nest before learning to fly, your spirit is sensing that you are being prepared for something greater. In Philippians 3:13-14, Paul speaks about pressing on toward the goal, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. That straining, that pressing forward, is fueled by a divine restlessness. The third sign of preparation was an uncommon desire for growth, and now with restlessness in your spirit, that desire intensifies. You may feel an urge to move, to change, or to step out in faith in new ways. This is because God is about to shift you into a new level, and the restlessness is his way of preparing your heart for the blessings that are coming. Just as the Israelites felt restless before entering the promised land, Deuteronomy 1:6-8, this feeling of spiritual unease is a precursor to entering a new season of God's favor. Restlessness also often signals that God is calling you to step out of your comfort zone. In the fourth sign, we talked about new opportunities appearing in unexpected places. Now, restlessness is pushing you to take action on those opportunities. You may feel like you can't stay where you are any longer. The place that once felt secure or familiar may now feel restrictive because God is ready to move you into something new. The fifth sign brought divine relationships into your life, and these individuals may also be feeling a similar restlessness as God prepares both you and them for a new level of blessing. Finally, the sixth sign was sudden clarity and purpose. As this clarity sharpens, the restlessness you feel in your spirit becomes even more pronounced. You begin to see the gap between where you are and where God is calling you, and this fuels the sense of urgency in your spirit. It's a reminder that God's timing is drawing near, and He's positioning you for the fulfillment of His promises. This seventh sign, restlessness in your spirit, is a divine indicator that you are on the verge of a breakthrough. Don't ignore it. Embrace it as a sign that God is preparing you for His next move. When you feel this restlessness, take it to God in prayer. Seek His guidance and ask for wisdom on how to respond. Just as Nehemiah turned his restlessness into a powerful mission to rebuild, allow this spiritual unease to propel you into the new season of blessings that God has in store for you. In conclusion, these 7 signs are powerful indicators that God is preparing you for a blessing beyond your expectations. Whether it's the discomfort of transitions, the increased opposition, the uncommon desire for growth, the appearance of new opportunities, the entrance of divine relationships, the sudden clarity and purpose, or the restlessness in your spirit, each is a divine signal that you are on the brink of breakthrough. God is aligning everything in your life for His greater purpose and timing. Stay patient, faithful, and ready for the blessings He is about to release. I want to thank each of you for taking this journey of reflection and faith. As you recognize these signs in your life, trust that God is at work and His blessings are near. May you continue to walk in His favor and experience His abundant grace.